And we begin with the Oklahoma Sooners in what I will recklessly or boldly declare as the most anticipated year of the Lincoln Riley era. I think that while we were, very excited about Lincoln Riley taking over and what we had seen from the quarterback position, this idea has been put in our head that Spencer Rattler, representing the first one recruited by Lincoln, picked by Lincoln, developed by Lincoln, combine that with year 3 of Alex Grinch. And now the narrative, which has been sort of bubbling through the summer, now it's time to see if we think that it's going to play out on the field. The non-con for the Sooners, manageable. Tulane on the road. Shout out to Oklahoma for traveling all the way down to New Orleans on the first week of the year. Western Carolina Catamounts, then that Nebraska game, lots of fun around that if you remember. The home draw, and remember, all Big 12 teams play 9 conference games, so everybody sees everybody. Home draw, West Virginia, TCU, Texas Tech, Iowa State. Road draw, Kansas State, Kansas, Baylor, Oklahoma State. Of course, Texas is a neutral. Over-under at Caesar Sportsbook is at 11, minus 110 to either side. What are we doing with the front-running Sooners?
I'm going over. I suspect I'm going to get my money back on this. I think 11 is by far the most likely number here, but I do have 12 as more likely than 10. I like that they get the other top teams in the conference, in my opinion, you can kind of guess at home. I think their road games are pretty manageable. The way they recruit plus the returning talent is not a normal combination we see in college football. Usually teams that recruit this well don't return that much returning experience because those guys are off to the NFL. They had some injuries last year. I think slowed them down early. Spencer Rattler got through some growing pains. If for some reason he falters again, they do have Caleb Williams, who's very, very talented. And I think they're just going to run this thing.
As I was going through my numbers here, I'm with you. I'm on the over because I don't see him losing twice. I could see him losing once. So I feel like I'm pushing it worst. And it's strange to pick an over on a total this high, but it's where I'm going. But there was a part of me that was like, well, maybe we should consider like how the Big 12 kind of treated Missouri and Texas A&M after they announced that they'd been leaving. Like, a lot of the close calls that season tended to go the other way. But then I was thinking, well, Missouri and Texas A&M weren't playoff contenders. And I don't see the Big 12 trying to screw Oklahoma over when Oklahoma is its best playoff chance and getting that, getting the money from that. So, yeah, over 12. I think they're probably going 12-0.
Yeah, I've got push insurance written on my notes right here. I don't see, the non-con should be easy wins. And then as I'm like even looking at Iowa State, I still think that Oklahoma might be 2 touchdowns better than Iowa State with that game playing at home. I think Oklahoma is going to be way ahead of Texas. It would take even for some of the dangerous teams that are in the Big 12, like you mentioned, the home road split's pretty good. So ditto, I'm on the over 11.
This team lost 2 games last year.
I know.
Right? Everybody's aware of it.
They always lose 1 regular season game. They're good for 1 regular season loss, but 2, I don't know.
I'm on the over 2. I was just trying to make a little bit of drama here. So I have concerns about Spencer Rattler, not as a player, but leadership, intangibles, especially with name, image, and likeness, and potentially that creating some issues. But I don't think it matters. You cannot like him, but this system has been proven. And if anything happens to him, or if he struggles again, like he did last year, Lincoln Riley's not afraid to make a change.
And he's got a better quarterback behind him.
Which you may have a really good point about that. But I do still think what I look for, uber talented teams that are going to be invested for 12 games the whole way throughout. Not teams that are a little bit had told how great they're going to be this offseason. I know Oklahoma's receiving some love, but think about this. There are going to be a lot of darling Iowa State picks to make the playoff, to win the Big 12. This is their year. Matt Campbell's on the rise. What do we tell Oklahoma about their bowl game last year? You might have beat Florida, but no one was there. It didn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like, I think this team, if I was them and I was Lincoln Riley, I think they're irritated. I think they're mad. I think they're focused. And what else have they been told? Oh, you guys can't win a playoff game. Can't win a playoff game. Like, I think this team has all the incentive in the world to run the table, and I think they do. And the schedule is The non-conference is guaranteed 3 wins. I know Nebraska fans won't like to hear that, but they're just not in the same stratosphere. And catching Iowa State, their closest competitor at home, I think is lock it up. Give me over.
Texas is the only loss there, right? And that would be just sort of the mystique of the rivalry and, everything else going into it. Because if you're going to go to Kansas State, I don't think I think it would be shocking for Oklahoma to lose to Kansas State 2 years in a row.
See, I think they can lose to Texas or Iowa State. I just don't see them losing both.
Correct.
Right.